Alright, we have a trailer for the very first movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Phase 4, Black Widow. Yeah, Black Widow is finally getting her own solo movie, in my opinion, a couple years too late. Yeah, off the bat, I gotta say I'm not really excited for this movie. I know that might seem jarring, but you know the reason why. Boom! Oh yeah, that's why. She's dead. Yeah, the character Natasha Romanoff, played by Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, right here, she died in this movie. And this new Black Widow movie is another Marvel movie that takes place between Civil War and Infinity War, like Black Panther, like Spider-Man Homecoming, like Ant-Man and the Wasp, now Black Widow. But since her fate was made certain in Endgame, I'm just like, who cares what she went through between Civil War and Infinity War? It doesn't matter. Alright, now that I've gotten that rant out of the way, let's actually talk about this trailer. Cause reasoning aside, it did have a couple of coolish things. The trailer starts off with Natasha Romanoff talking about her past. Actually, I think it's a quote from Endgame. I used to have nothing, then I got this job and this family. Yeah, that's right out of Endgame. You see flashbacks to Age of Ultron, Avengers 1, Winter Soldier. It looks like this movie's gonna take place mostly in Russia, which makes sense because that's where she was originally trained. The Black Widow program, which we've seen a little bit in the Agent Carter TV show and a little bit in Age of Ultron. They trained in the Red Room, whatever that is. So for some reason, Natasha Romanoff, after the events of Civil War, has to go back to Russia. She has to go back to the roots of her past because she has unfinished business. I will say I like the music in this trailer. That weird synthesizer sound, it sounds pretty cool. Sounds very action, espionage, spy-ish. And then we hear another character start talking. It's Yelena, played by Florence Pugh, I think her name is. And right after her very first line, I was like, that is one fake-sounding Russian accent. Yeah, I could pretty much instantly tell that it was fake. I mean, I know that's not her real accent because I heard her speak at Comic-Con and she has a normal American accent. But it's okay because that's not the worst fake Russian accent in this trailer. We'll get to that later. But apparently Yelena is another Black Widow. You know, Natasha calls her sis, as in sister, which does kind of make me question the whole I used to have nothing, I didn't even have family, but now the Avengers are my family bit from Endgame. Maybe Natasha's calling her sis ironically because maybe they were supposed to feel like sisters in the Black Widow program, but Natasha never felt like they were. That's just a theory of mine. Their fight is pretty cool though. It's pretty intense. They're fighting with guns and then with knives, and then Natasha smashes Yelena into the door window thingy. It feels really gritty. I like that. I'll say this might be the grittiest Marvel movie since Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Because, you know, it's gonna need to have something special about it because Black Widow is not super powered in any way. This is the first Marvel superhero movie about a superhero with absolutely zero superpowers. It's just essentially going to be a spy movie. So let's make it really cool, and by really cool we mean really gritty, which is really cool. Make the hand-to-hand combat fight scenes really intense. So for nothing else in this movie, the action should be really entertaining. And then for one blip we see Taskmaster, who I think is going to be the main villain here, which is awesome. Taskmaster is really cool. For those of you who don't know, Taskmaster's whole deal is that he can copy the fighting style of anyone he goes up against. And you see him with a bow and arrow, which makes me think, okay, did he go up against Hawkeye at one point? I don't know, that's just where my mind went. I do wish his mask looked more like a skull because that's what Taskmaster's mask usually looks like. It does have the teeth, but, you know, it doesn't look really skull-like. But that's just a nitpick, you know? Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming didn't look like Vulture from the comics, and he was still a great villain. I'm still not actually sure who is playing Taskmaster in this movie. They haven't revealed it yet, which is cool, because at least there's a little bit of mystery about this movie. And then, at the end of the trailer, Jim Hopper returns. Yes, David Harbour is in this movie playing a Russian, so now cue all the Stranger Things jokes. But when he showed up in this trailer, my reaction, I thought it was gonna be like, oh yeah, cool, David Harbour in a Marvel movie. That's cool. Instead, my reaction was more like, oh, well, okay. That suit does not look that cool. I mean, it looks cool-ish, but it also looks really tacky, like cheesy. It kind of reminds me of like Mr. Incredible from the beginning of The Incredibles, where he's like too big for his suit, so it just seems like kind of lame. Like, oh, it's a fat guy in a superhero suit. Funny, right? But that's not even the worst part of it. The worst part of it would be his Russian accent. Oh boy.
Family. Back together again.
Why not just get an actor from Russia to play the part? People had the same complaint about Mickey Rourke way back in Iron Man 2. I took 3 years of Russian in high school. I showed a clip from Iron Man 2 to my Russian teacher, and she immediately responded with, "That is the worst Russian accent I've ever heard." Yeah, and she's from Moscow. So it seems like 10 years later, they haven't done much better in terms of improving fake Russian accents from American actors. Я не знаю. And also, there's the question of why does everyone else have a Russian accent except for Natasha Romanoff? I'm sure that question will be answered in the movie. I'm just saying here, though. The very end of the trailer shows this really cool action scene with Natasha Romanoff falling through the air through all this debris. Looks like Taskmaster goons are trying to shoot her. And yeah, that actually does look pretty sick. Which, again, if for nothing else in this movie, the action should be really cool. But in the end, I don't know about this movie, man. This is the first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie in its Phase 4, and to kick it off, we're gonna have a movie that takes place during Phase 3. Yeah, I feel like this movie probably should have come out a couple years ago. But whatever, we have it now. Honestly, next year, the thing I'm looking forward to the most from the Marvel Cinematic Universe is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Soldier. I mean, the Eternals should be cool, but I don't know too much about them. They're a completely new concept, whereas Falcon and Winter Soldier we've known for a while, and it takes place, you know, after Endgame. So it's a new story with these cool characters. As for Black Widow though, I just see it as irrelevant, but I guess we'll see. So the official teaser trailer for Marvel Studios' Black Widow. Have you watched it yet? What do you think about it? And do you also see this movie as irrelevant, or am I just being an asshole? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.